Should be fine. Hello there.
Hi there.
My name is Jarek.
My name's Simon.
You know the drill, guys. Hello, welcome to our bi-weekly Ask Me Anything. So as always, we have some slides ready to go and rock and roll. Today it's when I was making slides, I've saw there's some loads of Starcraft things questions. So I think mainly it's going to be about Starcraft, but obviously it's a normal Ask Me Anything. This means we will also provide some feedbacks about other projects. So as you're here, please start asking questions. We're going to go back to the chat just in a minute with your questions and so on and so on. So let me just clear. Where do I? Here, right? Yes, that's the one. Okay. As usual, this is the projects, our current lineup of projects. So Caves, I think Caves is already done and dusted. It's shipped out, right?
There's still some to ship out. There's pledges that had issues with the program we're using, where we have to go in and manually fix them. And then there's also Wave 2, which I think in total would be probably about. I guess my rough guess would be probably about like 300 pledges left to ship in total. I'm not 100% sure, but it's around that number.
To get someone non-Starcraft related, how far along are you with design models for Porthaven super strategicals? There is only Hydra, I believe. No, Hydra was done.
There's a couple of super stretch goals. The Hydra isn't done yet, I don't believe. We haven't revealed it yet.
We haven't revealed it, but it was like very advanced in sculpting, if I remember last time.
It's relatively advanced.
Yes, I think it's only a couple of models left. So team jumped on the what's the name, Starcraft to finish some of the models we needed to get for approval, and now team is back on the thingy. So hey.
Yeah, Ireland visited Poland, Warsaw, not Piła, for Paul Anthony Romero's birthday concert with a Heroes Orchestra. Thank you for coming. Thank you for visiting our country.
Yeah, and we have a visitor today who was actually traveling to Poland, through Poland, and he came around our factory with his wife, and we showed him around. We showed him everything. So next time visit Piła. Well, okay, so Porthaven, tiny update there. Starside, I do have some slides ready for Starside to show you some new arts we did. Master of Orion, if you have any questions, please keep them coming, but Master of Orion is in the production stage, so it's already boarding period before we ship out from the factory. World of Tanks, a little bit of an update there. Master of Universe, Battleground, if you have some questions, please keep them coming. And Duskhollow, I believe I got one more concept to show you. Let's go Shimon with the questions, maybe.
Yeah, so Shadow Walker from the Discord. Duskhollow, what are the chances of Underworld movie-style werewolves and lichens? Medieval-looking peasant.
Should we go step by step?
Oh yeah, sure. So when it comes to werewolves and lichens, they're definitely planned. I've seen from the when it comes to like the minis we're going to be making. Medievals looking at peasant's cottage, barn, etc., or village buildings. If yes, will they be built using glue or using pegs? So I'm not sure exactly on like the outside terrain stuff. I know we do have a lot of castle like related themes planned. We may include like a medieval peasant cottage village, although that does kind of overlap with some of our existing earlier sets, like the Tudor house. But yeah, we'll think about that. A pond/small lake. Again, I don't think that's planned specifically. New trees, potentially. Bushes. We'll have to see. Maybe in the stretch goals. New and bigger hills that could hide at least a Trollside miniature, graveyard. So graveyard and ruins, I believe, are part of the plan potentially.
Yes, I think the graveyard is part of the of the campaign.
Yeah.
And generic looking ruins, I don't think so. Ruins are not part, but there's many other things, great things which team come up. So all those ideas. So yeah, stay tuned on that.
I haven't been like fully following Duskhollow, and I guess what the plans are, because I've been focusing on other things.
Yeah. Jakub, hi Jakub. Jakub is on the chat. So Leviathan, Hydra, and Water Dragoon, work in progress. The rest is finished. So this is what left. How is going about shipping Heroes of Might and Magic 3? The Heroes is on a boat. What are we waiting for now?
The tracking.
The tracking numbers. We're just waiting to get tracking numbers to provide an update, so you'll be able to start tracking that that thingy.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to release it next week, the update with the tracking numbers, because we don't want to just say, hey, it's coming, and we don't have like the tracking yet even. So
we need to have the tracking. I mean, it's a lesson learned from previous experience from China and manufacturing, that we would rather wait for a full packing list and what exactly is being loaded into container with the tracking numbers to provide you update. Otherwise it's going to be, hey, it's coming, but then all of a sudden it's not coming or whatever. So no, I'm going to wait. But yes, we should have the tracking number either tomorrow or beginning next week, so the update will follow on the campaign. I live in Canada and order Heroes 3 Stronghold Conflux in French, where I can expect to get it. I think it's in the same batch of shipping. So
no, the languages, the separate languages, they will be sent with a later wave in I believe it's 2026 Q1 potentially. I believe. Yeah. Okay. Right now the first wave it only contains Polish and English.
Okay, makes sense.
Of those languages.
And people knows that, yeah?
Yeah, it was in the update.
That's cool.
Some time ago.
Is there a pre-order date yet for Starcraft? It's nearly Q4. No, it's not. I'm looking now around about end of the Q4, starting pre-orders, shipping early or late Q1. Many reasons behind that one, and the main one I would say is that we need a little bit more time in terms of design development. We just want to make sure that everything is like spot on. We have to still run some marketing campaign. We haven't done any marketing campaign because everything was in works. We're going crazy steam, like full steam ahead with this project. So we not rushing, because obviously rushing won't be any good. And it's a wargaming at the end of the day. We need to make sure that it's a good game. And it is a good game. I mean, we like it. So I hope you will as well. So yeah, we will let you know. I mean, today, to be totally frank, yesterday we spoke with our manufacturing. There's about, between Starcraft and other projects, it's about 2.5 million of sprues to be manufactured. So we have to start being kind of picky and with projects and when it's gonna go into production and manufacturing. Yeah, but I have some like contingency plan at the moment. Which includes, first of all, we're getting more injection machines. We just ordered 2 machines today. They're used machines, so for the first time we're going to buy used instead of brand new machines, but we need them like desperately. So we won't be able to wait for manufacturer to give us like brand new machines, because you usually have to wait like 3 months for the new machines. So that's one. The second thing is we're starting night shift now on manufacturing, so it's going to be like 3 shifts running. And we see whether we're going to be also able to run through weekends. And that should give us enough capacity to get that 2.5 million sprues by March next year. It's a lot of sprues to be manufactured. But yeah, it's challenging time, really challenging time. And there's also plan B. Plan B includes like using third party. I had a meeting today. Third party local injection machines, also factories that can run our tools. So we will see. That's the plan B. I don't want to use it because it's much more expensive then, but we'll see. Hi Mike.
Hi Mike.
Yeah, Mike, you were right about the night models, night games. I think they shut the door. And not only that, I just read some news about hassle-free miniatures, the same story there. So it seems to be like very challenging times. Not only, you know. Yeah, let's go for the next question. Oh, not that button, this button.
So Oliver McNerdy from the Discord, for StarCraft, will you try to rope in some bigger influencers that have played Blizzard products over the years to try and advertise so it hits a bigger audience? Yeah, that's definitely in the plans. So we're already sponsoring the RSL, which is a new StarCraft league, StarCraft 2. But we do have plans to sponsor, or I guess, as you said, rope in some bigger influencers as well. We do have that in the plans, so you can look forward to that.
Exactly. For RSL, at the moment, we actually choose only bottom bracket sponsoring, and only because of just because we had no materials to give them to actually go for the higher bracket. So there's only logo floating and things like that. I mean, it's been viewed by hundreds of thousands of people across YouTube, across the Twitch and other platforms. So it's a good marketing to start with, and then eventually it's gonna be more and more. So it's a part of marketing plan, and really everything is gonna be kicking off from Essenspiel onwards. So Essenspiel is 21st of October, something like that. It's end of October next month, and this is where you're gonna be able to play the game for the first time. So we will have on our stand at Essenspiel, we will have a full demo tables and lots of surprises for Starcraft. So please visit us if you're there.
Jedhead from the Discord, Starcraft, are you planning to implement keywords and stat bonuses / penalties against certain keywords, i.e. light, armored, biological? Yes, that is a pretty cool mechanic of the game, actually. I guess the term we're using right now is surge, where basically you have the ability to score like guaranteed hits versus specific keywords if you roll enough, I guess. But yeah, that's definitely something. Apologies, that's something that's planned. How will armor be presented in game, if at all? Right now we just have it as a save roll, right?
Yes, that's correct. It's a save roll, and then we have additional Protoss will have additional roll, which we call shields at the moment. So there's a small deviation from the core rules for Protoss itself. There is also additional role also which is called evade, and it's not always, it's just basically triggered by several different effects. So you have an armor save, you have evade, and then you have a shield for Protoss. So all of those things are being triggered at different conditions. Obviously armor always.
Will units have defensive dice rolls as well as offensive dice rolls? Yes. Will ranged units have limited range bands, or will ranged allow you to target anywhere on the battlefield? Units do have limited range, of course.
On the first instance, you will think that the range is short, because we like having ranges 18 inches ranges, 12 inches or 10 inches. But when you play the game and when you see the table size and everything else, it actually works. So we were going back and forth with this range. We wanted to increase it, and then all of a sudden we needed to reduce it, and then increase it and reduce it, so on. So eventually we decided to go with what we have was actually quite good.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that there's a lot of mobility in the game. So that limited range, maybe, initially, again, maybe seems like it's a bit short, but once you actually start to playing, like start combining cards and effects, you'll like notice that it's actually more than enough a lot of the time.
It's not like your typical, by the way, it's not like your typical tabletop miniatures game. It's really like, it's really, I mean, it's
dynamic.
It's very dynamic. It's extremely dynamic. So if it goes for the Starcraft miniatures, are you going to manufacture them by yourselves? Yes, we have a large factory here, so we're going to be making those miniatures in-house. Hence the,
From your perspective, does collaboration with Activision Blizzard give you the opportunity to produce other licenses from the Microsoft catalog as miniatures or board games? That's something that we can definitely talk about with them. Right now, though, we're focusing on the war game, and we've already announced this, but we also plan to make a Starcraft board game that will come out in 2027.
Yeah. So, and just to add to this one, what Shimon just mentioned, yes, we have very good relationship at the moment. So, and we kind of, I think we're doing something right, because the approval process, everything is very, very smooth. They're extremely happy with materials we provide them, so we're not wasting their time. Working with IP material, it's not only with this specific licensor, because we have different licenses, right? We have more complex, less complex, and so on. But in general, it's not that easy as you might seem. Like, everything needs to go through approval. Every single post needs to go through approval. Everything, like, media materials, everything needs to go through that. So As long as you know what you do and what to follow, and you follow those guidelines provided by the licensor, it's great. But you know, some of the other companies I know in our industry, they sometimes struggle because they kind of wasting their time with, you know, doing something which is out of the line. So they try to do something by themselves, or you know, release some products which wasn't approved, or show something which they didn't have approval for. So you know, those things you have to be very careful with IP. But I think we're doing good. I think we're doing great. At least the feedback I've been receiving thus far is actually very positive about our company and cooperations we have with licensor. All the licensors, to be honest.
So Hughes from the Discord, home card game. I realize the early days. I realize early days, but can I suggest bigger / more readable text on the cards? Fine for the flavor text to be small, but the actual unit / rule text needs to be bigger, so you don't need to keep picking the card back up again when it hits the board just to read it. So I believe we just ran like a vote on the card layout.
Yeah.
Which I believe it does have like more space for card text, or at least it should be enough. There are, of course, some effects that will require more text, so in those cases text will likely be a bit smaller. But I don't believe this is too much of an issue at this moment in time.
Yeah, have a look on the latest design of the cards, which has been, I think the update went out today. On the Gamefound, like a development update. Have a look on there, because it will tell you exactly the size of the cards we have. And yeah, one of the comments we had from licensors, and to be honest, this is the first time when we had like licensors working with us on the card game, was that, you know, some of the rules are quite lengthy in text, so we just need to streamline. And that was actually pre-technical writing, so when the technical writer look at it and just basically streamline the old text. So we will try to make sure that the text is in line with the needs for the cards and the sizes. Okay, I've emailed the Archon for our TT club to participate in everything to support and spread this game course. Okay, so we haven't started the program for Starcraft yet. I believe this email has been just collected right now. Anyhow, but at some point we're gonna start sending out packs and information and info how we're gonna be doing it. But it needs to happen after SN. SN is the turning point for this product, when we're gonna be much more open, much more accessible, and much more active in terms of doing any other activities except to what we're doing at the moment. Yeah. Okay. Cool. As you mentioned, different roles. Having many roles in one attack does clock the speed time and is very old school. How many roles can we expect with one attack? One roll. There is one dice roll for attack. There's no more dice roll. There's other effects. You may roll so-called surge die, which normally you roll d6 die, and then one more additional die you just roll to that. There is no multiple rolls, there's no dividers. So in terms of game design, you have several different type of mechanics in the game, in other games, and we have decided not to go for the dice dividers. So you have a simple straight one roll against one roll. So it should be one roll against one roll. And there are some elements which require you to roll some additional rolls, but they are limited to maybe for your activation, maybe once, twice per activation, instead of being overloaded with every single dice roll. Yes, we have taken this one in mind. And that one roll against one dice roll, I did before even actually we did like, you know, full analysis about how other games play. It's very surprising that many games actually use it, and it's not being talked about. Like, you know, you have a Legion, you have a Star Wars Legion, obviously. Then you have Song of Ice and Fire. All those games actually use one roll against one roll, D6 roll. So yeah, it's not that common. Only the 40k use like attack and toughness, and then save, and then you might have like additional feel no pain and additional roll, and lots of rerolls. So in our game, the rerolls are also limited, just to make sure you will have some chances to, even when you have a bad roll, to do something about it. But it's very, very limited to amount of those rerolls. So in very engineering way, I would say, when you take the timing of how long does a movement takes, how long does the other action takes, how long does a dice rolling takes, you shouldn't go more than 10 to 15% per game. So your length of the game, 15% of that should be maximum dice rolling. And some other games actually having much more that. So a 40k is a prime example of actually having almost 30% of your time on the table is actually dice rolling and doing combat and doing all those things, you know, you have to do. What kind of bases will Starcraft models have? They do have several different sizes of bases. I think we're starting with 32mm bases for Marines, then we have 40mm, 50mm, 60mm, 80mm, and then we have the Hydra bases, which is at the moment like a round bases.
It's an oval.
Oval.
Will Duskhollow have terrain usable for war games like ruins, or spooky trees, and maybe peasant houses?
In general, everything we do, everything you find on you know, Dungeons and Lasers line, it could be used easily for tabletop miniatures game, like war games. But I think from all the things we're gonna do, the cemetery will be, it's gonna be nice fit. Cemetery set will be nice fit for the war game, like pure fantasy war game. Can we have a play
video until the campaign starts, so we can see the game in action? I believe we are planning to record a gameplay video of the card game.
And not only that, I think lots of influencers received the packs from us. We needed to do some changes for the sample pack for the influencers to record it, because, you know, through half of the process we decided with licensor that, okay, we have to remove the dice from the game and do different mechanics. So it was a little bit of mayhem to get that fixed and so on. But yeah, we finally managed to get that sorted out. Let's move on.
Starcraft, how will spellcasting work? Is it based on rolling a certain number of successes, or does the caster get a certain number of casts per game, or something else? So the way we have it right now is there is a couple different ways spellcasting works. So when you activate a unit with energy, you get one energy token, which you can then use to cast abilities. Some abilities don't require you to use anything. You can just use them during like the specific phase laid out in the on the unit's like a card. And then there are also buildings, or I guess we're calling them buildings now, but it's probably going to be called something else on release. Basically,
we call them tactical cards at the moment, yes.
Basically, there are these cards that you can like use, or I guess tap, to like use an effect. And some abilities require you to like tap specific buildings, so you can then make use of that ability.
Yeah. So for instance, just to give you something like we testing at the moment, so it's not final, obviously. Like battery charges for Protoss. It's a card you can actually buy before the game, and you have a battery. So the battery allows you to make additional reroll, and that's only one reroll you're going to have once you tap the card, once you use the card. For shield armor, or shield roll, we call it in StarCraft. So those kind of things. Yeah, and
and like for example, for Terran, there's the factory allows you can tap the factory, and then that allows you to use the ability Ares class targeting on the Goliath.
Yeah. That's another example. Yeah. So there's a several way of management. So in overall, again, in game design, you need to have some resources management mechanics. So we have two of them at the moment. One is the energy one, and second one is basically the buildings or tactical cards.
Yeah, and generally for spells, we don't really use dice rolls as much. There are some specific spells that do use dice rolls. For example, the Medic's Heal, because it's a powerful ability. It costs energy, but you also have to roll, and you get one dice roll for every Medic model. I'm pretty sure they heal on a 4+.
Yeah, it was slightly small. We did small changes to that one as well, because it was so powerful. We needed to, reduce. But yeah, you know what I mean. And also, so we have abilities which you can trigger during your model unit activation with the with the energy you have on the model, and then you have reactions as well. So some of the skills are much more reaction, but then require you, but some of them on casters require you to have a the energy, like Queen for instance, right? So their Queen heal, it's a transfusion, and it works that way. If any other model within a range of that Queen get damage, you can use that one as a trigger to spend that energy in order to heal it. And then you have to, you know, I think it's flat 2, or maybe at the moment it's flat 2 or flat 3 or D3, remember, because we've been testing so many different variants at the moment. I'm not sure which one is actually in the final, but that's the idea.
Starcraft deck building. Will cards be easy to come by to build the ideal deck, or will it work like most trading card games with boosters and rarity?
Oh, no boosters, no rarity. That's absolutely not. This is pure war game, and it's a miniatures game, and cards are only the addition to the game, like, you know, additional resource management mechanics. So we can't have anything like that, like a trading card systems in place in game design. So yeah, how you obtaining the cards? So you have a starter set which includes some cards. You have units, and in that units, when you buy additional units in a set, you might find some additional cards, additional building cards or tactical cards. And the most important will be actually heroes, because with each of the heroes you will find additional mission cards you can use in the game. So you got mission deck, and like in other games, you make your mission deck before the game starts. It's 5 missions you choose from. The missions in the game aren't designed to be side missions really. So all those missions are actually side missions to increase your chances of winning the game at the end of the game, because you play for the victory points. But yeah, those will be specific and very, very related to heroes you're going to buy in the future, or you're going to use the ones which you find in a starter box for your faction, basically. So you can choose vanilla missions, or then build your own mission deck if you want, as you wish. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, I can't say much because be a lot of, I would say, a lot of things. We really want to make like this individual Starcraft thingy when we after Essen, when we much more, you know, ready for those things.
Home card game. How many cards can we expect as a minimum in the starter set, just to be able to order these sleeves so they will be ready for the game to arrive?
We will have a specific sleeves as well available on the campaign, so you will be able to buy the sleeves during the campaign, so you don't have to, you can just wait for the campaign when it starts and get it. How many? It's difficult to say. I can tell you I've seen the all-in pledge today, because we had discussion about this one. It's got like 860 cards. So 9 factions. That's a lot, but you can buy the sleeves, and then with all in pledge you get everything. You get sleeves, you get playing mats, you have cards, you have big box, you know, lots of surprises you haven't seen yet on a page. I'm just spilling the beans again. Yeah. Will the Starcraft models be possible, customizable? Yes, to some degree. Possible, not so much. Not so much possible, but what we're trying to do, we're trying to give you a lot of additional things.
Yeah, assembly options basically. So if you want to like add something to the model,
like this roach, for instance, so you're gonna get a sprue. This is the very different strains of the roaches, right? So that's why we use this clear plastic. You can overpaint some of the elements or leave it unpainted. Some of the legs will have to, but those things you just added in like a customizable. You don't need to add that one. You can have it without it. It's not mandatory, so it's just basically this effect. You can put this green effect on that one, obviously, as a shooting effect, and then paint that one in different colors. So yes, in terms of models, like Marines, for instance, so this is like one of the optional Marine. Let me just show you this. I mean, you're not gonna get better miniatures than this, by the way. In terms of miniatures models quality, well, I don't know what to say. Better than GW, but in general, this is optional arm. That's optional weapon. Bayonet is optional. You just have to pick and choose whether you want on this model or not. And the shield is also optional. So vanilla one is without it, without bayonet, without the thingy. And then we have some weapons optional in the squad as well. So when you build your squad, you can choose other weapons. So they all fluff accurate. And the pistol there is also, the sledgehammer is also the what's the name? It's optional for the squad building. So yeah, you can have them vanilla, you can have them up with upgrades and so on. So lots of things is added to the miniatures. Lots of things is added to the miniatures, but it's just added for the purposes of the gameplay. But in terms of poses, no, because we have to be very, very careful about how the model will look if somebody. Well, we don't want to allow people to, let's say, assemble them wrongly. That makes sense what I just said. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's go for the next one. That's gonna be a long one. So, okay, the first question, Shimon, can you read it because I?
Yeah, I can read it.
Or should we go for some here?
I mean, I can set the screen so.
Oh, yeah. You're looking at our faces. Let me just clear that one as well. Here we go. Yep.
I've noticed that the playmat size will be 35 by 35. There being a 36 by 36 standard in many other tabletops, why they changed by 1 inch? Tabletop gamers love reusing their stuff in other games and vice versa.
Absolutely, is 36 by 36. If I say 35, I was wrong. It's 36 by 36. It's 91 centimeters. It's a standard 36 by 36, and that's what we're gonna use.
Mm-hmm. Have you thought about including decals or making them separately available? I believe that's in the plan.
It was planned, it was discussed, but not in this wave of releases. Maybe at some point in the future.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The clear plastic bits are amazing. In other games, I've noticed that some manufacturers forget that the clear plastic have to be put on after priming the miniatures. With some miniatures, that isn't possible. Are you testing it properly that the clear plastic bits can be put on after priming the miniature?
Yeah, yes and no. So, like the miniature I showed you just a few seconds ago, Roach, for instance. So that's the one. If you wanna do it, so the clear plastic goes on this carapace. So maybe I shoot on the camera. So like for this model, for instance, so that clear plastic, so that element is glued to bottom underneath of that carapace here. So you have that carapace, so you can leave it outside and paint it, and then paint all the models and glue back in on the model itself. But it's not gonna be there, so like that easy. So let me just maybe rephrase what I was trying to say is we designed these models to be either easy to assemble and with that clear plastic to be used with much more, let's say, advanced painters if they want to paint the models in miniature like individually and then use this clear plastic, but you don't have to. It's optional for you, right? So I would say if somebody doesn't have a skill for playing with this and doesn't want to use this feature whatsoever, he can just simply overpaint the model as it is, just glue it and overpaint it, like and so on. If somebody's got more skill in terms of painting and he feels like he wants to approach this challenge, then it will require a little bit of more work. This means the partial assembly, painting, and then final assembly of the model. Okay.
I've heard the news of there not being an app required to play, which is good. Are you considering using an app that supports the gameplay, be it list building, mission descriptions, or updated rules of units? So an app is something we have planned for the future. Definitely, it's required, I think.
I think we're gonna use the same approach as with Battleground, where the app itself is gonna be online. So you just the www rather than online, and you just log in.
It's a web application.
Web application. You just log into web application and you do your army roster. Yes.
More philosophical question. In your words, what is the gameplay essence of StarCraft, the digital game, and what part of it was your focus of implementing that into the rules that people will recognize? Which parts couldn't make it? I've already heard base building, which is more of a focus in the board game. Do you want to start? Or?
Yeah, you say something, you can.
Yeah, well, to me, it's a very good question. What makes, I guess, the core essence of StarCraft? Well, to me personally, it's definitely a fantasy of like building an army, and then sending it out and watching it just walk through everything. For me personally, though, I spend a lot of time playing co-op in StarCraft 2. So for me personally, it's going to be like the heroes and like the really, really powerful abilities, and also like going up against even stronger enemies through like mutations and stuff. But that's me personally. Another big thing as well is definitely community created content. So in StarCraft 2, that would be the arcade, and we really want to encourage that kind of community creative like stuff with this game as well. So whether it be like custom scenarios, custom rules for units as well. If you want to like play something like that, like a special campaign, I think we can like, well, we fully support that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, there's some gameplay essence for the StarCraft. So imagine if you play competitive and if you know things like, for instance, what is 5-pull? Do you know strategy for 5-pull? Do you know like a proxy barrack strategy? So for me, what was missing when we designed the core rules, we redesigned without anything, which is StarCraft. Then we needed to add those layers of StarCraft. So, and you have in a game, we have designed several different buildings, or at the moment being called tactical cards, because there's part of strategy, like a proxy barracks, for instance, right? Which allows you to feel the game itself. So the proxy barracks, obviously, as you know, as the strategy in the video game, allows you to actually have some units to go from different angles and attack your center board. It's just like, enemy doesn't know they actually might come from different angles, and use that card in order to actually bring the units from each of the corners. We have a dropship card as well in the game. A dropship card allows you to bring the units on the table, remove those units off the table, and so on. So the game we just mentioned at the beginning is extremely mobile. It's extremely fast and extremely, all of a sudden you have units popping out from different places, and it's not static basically. So I think it's a completely new experience for the people whenever they're going to play this game, comparing to other tabletop miniatures games. Because here, I played 2 days ago. I played with my Kerrigan, and Kerrigan's got special thingy, which is the Nidus worm, and had on actually Nidus worm, and you can place this worm everywhere on the table, and that it's actually things gonna be pop out from that. So my enemy actually had a also good idea, because he had Artanis hero, and Artanis allowed him to actually bring on a table Pylon, and he played Protoss. So he put Pylon somewhere in the corner, and he can spawn from he can gate through warp gate through his army through that as well, and he was doing this effectively. So you never know when enemy will appear. So that is great about this game. It's very unpredictable in terms of all of a sudden you need to focus on some angle. Okay, fine, but you have counterplays. So if enemy appears too close to you, you have some ways of counterplay that one. So that is great. And those elements in the game actually keeping you extremely entertainment across the entire game. So when you start and you finish. So, yeah.
Which other games had an influence on your game's mechanics?
I don't know. Because we said, oh yeah, we don't want to make 40k at all. So what we don't have I can tell you what we don't have completely in the game. We don't use cover. We have very, very specific way of doing the cover, because the building itself, they have assigned number, size number. So your units got a size number and the units got size number. Very easy. You don't have to go and pick whether I don't see the thingies. So there is no true line of sight. So it's not 40k. We do have D6 because I believe very strongly that the custom dice, it's great, but for this size of the projects, we simply wouldn't be able to deliver on time. Neither do any of the manufacturers. So we use D6 dice, and it works very well. We have very unique ways of attacking, and with the search die against against type of the armors, different type of armors in the game. That's different thing. We have something which is called supply. You never heard about that, but it's supply. So you have points, minerals you spend on your army building list, but then you don't put everything on the table as the game starts. Actually, we start with empty table or just terrain, and then we activate our units. Activate the first unit, and I select the unit up to my supply level. So every round this supply goes up by 1. So if you say, for instance, you got like 7 supply at the beginning of the game, I need to set up 7 units, different type of units, but they have different, you know, supply value, right? So like Hydra's got 2 supply value and Zergling's got have 1, or if the biggest unit is got 2 supply value. The whole concept for that one and reason is we can play then on a small table and we feel always engaged, because even if I lose a unit or 2 units, I don't mind, because I got still a lot of reserves, because my supply didn't allow me to bring everything I have on my roster sheet. So yeah, that's nowhere in the tabletop miniatures yet. I haven't seen any game like that. What else we have there? Did we obviously we have like a basic things, which you have a strength of attack, so when you roll, well, not strength of attack, but basically the number of dice you have to roll it, so but that's normal common mechanic. We use inches, so like all the other tabletop miniatures game, but if the list is so long, if we go for the list, it's difficult to find things which are in other games, right?
Yeah, I think the only other games we can compare this to is to the previous versions of Starcraft.
Our versions.
Our previous versions of Starcraft, because the current version, it's like I want to say it's probably like the 6th iteration of Starcraft at this point. There were like various completely different iterations which played in various different ways, and I guess this is kind of like the amalgamation of all of that, basically.
Yeah. So, you know, it's like it's difficult to say which game is very, very close to it. I mean, I think it's a good thing, because doing something bold, doing something which is like unique, and doing something which give you completely different experience, it means you can basically, you know, it's not going to be a copy of something else, but with the skin of, of IP. It's just basically fresh and new.
Starcraft being a huge IP, I understand why the game has to be approachable to non-wargamers that find an interest in the game. Me being a wargaming veteran, having played more than 20 different wargames casually and competitively, will the game be tactically challenging enough, or more? Yeah, or more of a beer and pretzel game with dice chugging. So trust me, that there is a decent amount of tactical gameplay. Definitely a lot more than 40k or any Warhammer game, in my personal opinion.
So let me explain you, because this is gonna probably go out there during SN or after SN, how the round structure is. So we have phases. Well, so we have movement phase, we have assault phase, and we have a combat phase, right? So, but hear me out. We start the movement phase and we activate unit by unit. So I activate my unit, I do movement. You activate your unit, you do movement. The first player who's going to finish is the first player who's gonna start the assault phase. You can always say pause. I pause, I'm not going to be activating anything. You carry on your movement and I'm going to be first to activate. Now, in an assault phase, you have several options, right? You can charge your unit, you can again move again, or you can make shooting, attack, whatsoever. And this is where this tactical play comes into play. So you really have to balance your activations on the table and think ahead for the next phase. Because next phase is actually quite critical. If I'm going to charge you first, you can actually shoot me before, and so on, so on. There's so many variables in the game. And then, you know, in the second round of the game, you have like 3 tactical options to choose from. Not 1, just 3. But you know, your enemy will have exactly the same level of tactical plays to choose from, roughly.
Yeah, but that's not to say that the game is like overly complex.
Oh no, far from that.
You can totally take this. A lot of the feedback we received from Blizzard devs when we were playtesting the game is exactly like, this is the kind of game that I could teach my wife and kids, for example.
Yeah.
Which is great for the average customer, but there's also like still plenty of tactical options. So I guess at the end of the day, it's easy to say this to make a game that's easy to learn but hard to master. But I guess that's like the best way to describe this, where it's very accessible, but it's also very deep.
Yeah.
At least that's what we're aiming for. We're hoping that's what people will experience.
We that's what we aim. I mean, he did mention about the X-Wing. I'm a huge fan of X-Wing and all those things in X-Wing, and also our Sacrifice and Fire. In our business, one of the Sławek, one of the guys who works on the game, he's actually a huge fan of Song of Ice and Fire, so he kind of understands what exactly tactical decisions you have to make. So, you know, the buildings, like per se, it's like your the strategical cards in the Song of Ice and Fire, so your leader cards. But yeah.
Will you be having miniatures from different eras of StarCraft? For example, Ghost Kargan? Absolutely. Yeah, we will be definitely releasing multiple versions of like alternate models, basically, from different historical like versions.
That's a good question. How are we doing with the cutting out couriers holding our goodies for ransom over things we have already paid? So there's lots of things happening behind the scenes again with shipping and courier companies. I think they understand they are in a trouble, like, you know, all the companies at the moment, and they try to kind of change and manage things. But on our side, we just started UK operation. So for the UK backers and customers, that's what we're gonna do now. It's gonna be quite smooth process of getting stock through border because of that. Now we also gonna do exactly the same with the USA. Although it's a little bit more complicated because USA for business to business is easy, business to customers won't be that easy. But we are finding solution we have to find solution, as I mentioned. So we have something in works. Once we fully establish, we will, you know, let you know. We will let people know about that's what we're gonna do, and how we're gonna move on with, you know, making sure there's no tariffs, there's no additional cost, there's no additional charges whatsoever, because there shouldn't be. But you know, the couriers company. One big tactic in the wargaming is bunching up units to gain aura, bony to get great combat stats. It is very common tactic. No, think in our game is there is no aura at the moment. There's no much aura. You might find a little bit of, you know, reaction thingies, but it's more to reaction to some specific scenarios between the units interaction. But there is no bunching. There's no snowballing. There's no like, you know,
there is snowballing, but no deathballing. Yeah,
there's snowballing, but not deathballing. I mean, snowballing will usually happen on round 4 or 5, so last 2 rounds when you run out of your resources to actually bring on the table. But yeah.
So some snowballing is necessary, of course, because otherwise your actions don't have any meaning.
Yeah.
But like it's not like overwhelming, basically.
Yeah.
Definitely not in the like early stages of the game as well. It's not like you lose one vital unit and then the entire game is just instantly over.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Another bunch of questions.
So StarCraft model kit questions. Starter box models versus separate release models difference. Are there any? GW sometimes does ETB for big boxes and multipart for separate kits like Shadow Spear release. Yes, so for the StarCraft miniatures in the starter set, some models, they won't have variants. Well, they won't specifically have like mutations for the Zerg models, for example. For example, the Roaches, usually you can pick between like a normal Roach, a Corpse Roach, or a Vile Roach. But in the starter box, you won't have that option. You'll just have the basic Roach. But if you buy the Roach pack in retail, it will come with those additional options.
Yeah. Same for the Zerglings, right? Zerglings at the moment in the starter box, we have just the plain one. And then if you want to go for Raptors, you just have to buy the boxes itself. And we will have additional components in the boxes for the Raptors itself. Why we did that? Because the box is overloaded with plastic at the moment. It's very heavy, very large, and we cannot stick anymore. And on top of that, the starter box should be quite easy accessible for the customers just to go and try the game. We won't have any easy to build. Kind of all the miniatures we try to build with easy to build in mind. So like we won't have a push fit, by the way, but it's one of the downside, because we want, if we design the push fit, it's gonna be in the second edition far from now, because we need lots of time to actually get a easy to build stroke a push fit thingy. However, what the team is trying to do is really allow and create the miniatures the way we cut the miniatures, that are very simple to assemble. Okay, so it won't be like, you know, tiny bits and bobs whatsoever to glue it and so on.
Is clear plastic any different from normal plastic for painting purposes? Nope, it's the same material. It's just see-through.
Yeah.
Size difference between vehicles / monsters and infantry. How much freedom have you used in scaling them? So it's mostly true scale, but with some scale differences, of course. Like we've scaled something slightly up, something slightly down, just so it better fits on the table. But for the most part, it is true scale.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Obviously, we won't be able. I mean, the scale is the StarCraft scale is like also tiny little bit all over the place, because when you look like Zerglings in animation and when you look in a video game, they're completely different. But we want to give that feeling of being, you know, close to the original.
Will there be miniatures for different unit variants between StarCraft 1 and 2 designs? For example, Terran Marine armor, siege tank models? If yes, will there be differences between them in the rules? Definitely in the future, there will be different versions of models, as mentioned with like the Ghost Kerrigan.
Yeah.
As for different rules, I think that can be a possibility. Although I haven't confirmed it yet, but I don't see the issue with having different rules for some specific models.
Yeah. Yeah. Specific question about the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Will there be miniatures for different hero unit variants? Yeah. Zealot Phoenix, Dragoon Phoenix, and eventually Kalandar as well. Or like, yeah, I guess like the StarCraft 2's version as well. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely for sure. A specific question about Phoenix, my favorite. Any plans on him / StarCraft 1 characters? Again, yeah, we're going to be exploring like the full StarCraft universe. So everything that you've ever seen or heard about StarCraft, we will be trying to put it into this game, basically, just so we have a larger pool to pull from. Rules questions: Flyers present? Yes, they will be.
Yeah. So there's one more keyword on weapon, which is ground or air, which means some of the weapons won't be able to target air. Some of them are able to target all of them, like in a video game.
What is the biggest flying model?
What is the biggest playing model?
Flying model.
Flying model. At the moment, the only flying models, I think it's going to be Wright, or maybe Mutalisk, I don't know. One of them is going to be quite large. We will see, but we're not going to go for anything bigger than that, because obviously we won't be able to fit like, you know, battlecruiser or something like that on a boat.
What kind of dice are used for tests? D6 for everything.
D6. You have plenty D6. You have your lovely D6s, so we're gonna use. I got my own lovely sets of D6. I want to use them.
What are victory conditions in the game? Limited turns / VP scoring, annihilation objectives. So at the moment, the competitive 1v1 mode, it is limited rounds with victory cards that you. You start the game, during list building, you pick from a list of mission cards, and during the game, at the beginning of the round, starting from round 2, you play one of them from your hand, and depending on how well you fulfill that mission, you gain a number of points. And there are also various objectives on the map that, points on the map that you can capture and control, and those give you points every round as well. But that's just the competitive 1v1 mode. We're also planning.
There is also victory points based on the kill count.
Yeah, for eliminating supply from your opponent.
Exactly.
But we are also planning on releasing specific scenarios in which there are like specific objectives you need to complete, and in those scenarios, we won't be using VP. You just have to complete the objective. Doesn't matter how the game goes or anything. You just have to do it, and if you don't do it, you just lose.
Yeah, this is for much more narrative.
It's more for narrative play in specific scenarios. Are there any asymmetric maps missions? Yeah, as mentioned, that would be the scenarios. Do sub-factions rules, if they exist, restrict army building? Like Dominions must have a lot of Marines.
No, however, the thing is, once you're gonna use a sub-faction, you usually go, okay, so there's something we haven't yet mentioned. Is the card for faction card, because you have one faction card as well available. So you can use the vanilla faction card you will find in the box, or you use the faction card for a specific hero you're gonna play. You don't have to play that hero, by the way. You can always use, like, say, I want to use my Kerrigan Brood because the Kerrigan Brood's got on specific things for a miniatures, models, whatever. But you want to use this set of rules, you don't need that miniature. You don't need the Kerrigan on the table.
Yeah, I will say that there will be some restrictions, or there have to be actually restrictions for some factions, sub-factions, because, well, I mean, maybe in the future, like I wouldn't see like Statman using like regular Zerglings or regular Marines.
As I said, we're a little bit far away from that.
Yeah, we're far away from that, of course. Will there be generic characters available as like build your own character models?
Yeah, but not at launch. So there is a huge number of characters in the game, name characters. Like for Zilog, there's about 20 different names for Zilog characters. We could use it, but not on launch. It's gonna be something we're gonna be doing later in the future in the game, because the game will expand. So we will add some additional rules in the future, which allows you to actually use additional kind of heroes for the units. But that's we're testing this, by the way, so it's not like, yeah, but I think this is gonna be quite good idea. In terms of build your own hero character, I don't think so. That's not the that's too much RPG aspect for the game. I did that in the past in other game I designed, and it was cool, great, but it was too complicated. So yeah.
Here we have Starside.
Some Stardust. Let's check for questions.
About Cave Space, Wave 1 basically done. What pledges were there in Wave 1? And when should we start reaching out about the pledges not having been sent? Again, as stated previously, there are some pledges that haven't been shipped yet because they encountered errors with when exporting them into our system, and we just manually have to go through them and fix them. And our customer service team is currently working on that.
Yeah.
As for when you should start reaching out, honestly, I'm not too sure on that. I'm honestly, again, I'm not even sure when we'll be done with these. I'd say you can probably reach out in like the next by the end of the month if we haven't sent them out yet.
Yeah. Right. So Starside, this is something something team is actually doing at the moment. It's let's call them spell effects, but some of the factions will have specific element on the table, which we can trigger through. At this stage, we call it how do I call it? I completely forgot about it. How I call it. But it's basically a spell effect. So here are some concepts we are designing. Flux. We call them flux. So through flux, so you can basically cast them on a table, and it's gonna be like traveling on a table itself, board as a spell effect. So that's for Sakura. I mean, you can tell what's that, and what's the idea behind this one, and also idea behind the Sakura line anyway. So that's one example for that faction. There's gonna be much more. I think the prompts are more about having a protection. This means some force fields and all those things. But imagine like fantasy spells in a sci-fi universe when the not only the spaceship will fight with shooting different type of weapons, they're also going to be able to manifest some type of energy, what's not, on the bodies as well. So
you guys should totally add like stuff like portals and the mirrors.
Do we have portals already in the game?
Can you like shoot through the portal and it can go hit, like the bullets can hit out the other side?
And there's not that mechanic at the moment. We have only portal. When you just jumping into one, you just jump into one portal and jump out on the other one. Mm-hmm. So those things are there. Yeah. Oh my goodness, this I was here. Okay.
I'll repeat the question. Will there be additional sub-factions for Starside as super stretch goals? No, not as stretch goals or super stretch goals.
You will have 4 factions to choose from. Mm-hmm. So at the moment we only show like 2 factions, and I've been showing the third one in terms of renders point of view, so miniatures models. And there will be one more faction, Vampires faction, also available on the campaign. So the main campaign will be about just additional stretch goals, just for 4 factions. We obviously have plans for 5, 6, 7 faction, but that will happen in the future. yeah, so that's that.
World of Tanks.
World of Tanks, a little bit of World of Tanks. I know we missed last time. So World of Tanks is actually in pre-order stage now on our website. And the release date is actually with Essenspiel. So what we plan to do, to have a that release on Essen, so you'll be able to buy. And then shipping starts on the 5th of November. So I'm assuming October will be the SHP will be the time when you can actually get it before normal shipping on our website. But then we're gonna start shipping on November once we're back from SHP. Obviously, the team is working on Wave 2 now, and also organized play. So yeah, I need to put together with my team a kind of roadmap for the projects we have. Because currently, as you know, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we do struggle with capacity for plastic injection, especially plastic machine injection, not tooling, but plastic injection machine, means that we're gonna have to make a very, very robust plan and just stick to it in terms of plastic games. But this game is not part of that, so we can plan it out and make sure it's gonna happen, basically. So, yeah. Question about caves. When I can expect the misplacements for misprinted spurs?
So right now, it's usually about a month or a month and a half from reporting, simply because we're still shipping caves, and we're like pretty much at max capacity when it comes to like our logistics. So it takes a lot longer for replacements to come through to the logistics team.
Does the boosters boxes with all the packs only have US and Germany? At this moment, just 2 factions.
No. That's the starter set. The starter set contains US and Germany, or the starter decks you can see on the website.
Yeah.
But the booster box, it comes with, I believe there's a lot of different factions there. I believe there may be even like about 9. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, but it comes with the starter box, or the booster box, the big booster box. It comes with like a variety of different factions, not just US and Germany.
Yeah, there you go.
Because again, a key part of the game is mixing and matching nations, as with basically any other deck builder or TCG. If I want to play Terran versus Terran out of the box, will there be an option to choose a base plastic color, or are all blue only? So the starter box, it only contains enough models for a Terran versus Zerg matchup, but you can choose to buy 2 boxes and then you can play Terran versus Terran that way. But yes, there's no option to choose a base plastic color. They all come in the same color.
Exactly. Yeah. And for Starside still, okay, I missed slides. So some of the arts we make now. So the card layout. So sorry, it's in Polish here, but in general, this is how the card layout will look for this faction. Each of the factions will have its own cards layout. Some more arts. Yep. So it's I really like the progress of Starcide. I mean, I like it. I like the game. Really like the game, and it's the game I would definitely be playing. So I'm gonna be playing. That's for sure. And one more picture. I think this picture was actually last time as well on the board. So that's how the combat looks. I think this is the second round of game. So again, this game also very, very like dynamic. For Duskhollow, you have seen that one, I think.
Yeah, I think we already showed that last time.
But there's a more concept coming. So this is the another concept. I've just seen it today. It was sent to me. So yeah, this is the type of models you're gonna be able to expect or see it. So this is half elf, I believe. Yeah. So that's for the Duskhollow. I think there's a more work in progress on Duskhollow, but they're still work in progress. So once I'm back from Essenspiel, or in the next few weeks, I think we're gonna be one more. There's gonna be one more AMA next in a couple of weeks' time. So we are gonna have more materials to show you. Porthaven demo. Let's have a look. What we have to show you guys. I've got partially assembled ghost ship, partially because we they still have to do like 2 more sprues or 3 more sprues just in clear plastic just to see everything works. But I gave you models to show you, and I want to show you these models. These models, obviously, they're gonna be in clear plastic, so we made it like in normal plastic just to show you full, you know, quality of the miniature. And it's like that. And that's the clear plastic mini.
Is Duskhollow going to be a mini campaign or a terrain campaign? It's going to be mainly a terrain campaign. We're just showing some miniatures off at the beginning because they're a lot easier to show as marketing materials. So, for example, like for a follower gift.
Yeah.
But yeah, this will be a terrain-focused campaign, mainly on like castle terrain and I guess like, sort of like darker themed terrain in general.
Yep. So I will be showing miniatures. If you want to go through some questions here. And answering them.
Yeah, as Jakub said in the chat, dark town folk incoming.
Yeah.
Any preview of what curved walls will look like? Will the floors be curved also? Yes, both the walls and the floors will be curved. We do have a system now for curved walls, or like towers as well, which fully connects to the standard DNL system, and we'll be using it in the Duskhollow campaign. We haven't shown any previews of it yet because, well, it's mostly just 3D prints, just so we know how the technology works. But we will probably be showing renders, I guess, relatively soon once we start properly sculpting the terrain for the project. Will you be selling minis / cards at Essenspiel for Starcraft? How many different units per factions will you bring to play the game there? So we won't be selling anything Starcraft related at Essenspiel. Oh, except for the one thing that we haven't announced yet. We will be selling one thing, but I can't announce it yet. That's a secret. So again, you can look forward to something, but I won't announce it
yet.
For the
minis, yes. For the minis, you will be able to buy everything what we have in our portfolio, retail portfolio for DNL. And for the cards, you will be able to buy anything World of Tanks.
But for StarCraft specifically.
For StarCraft, no.
There's just going to be like one thing that we're going to be selling that's StarCraft related. But you'll have to wait just to see. But as for the factions to demo, there will only be the factions in the starter box, so it's going to be Terran versus Zerg, and it's again mainly just going to be an introductory scenario, so it's going to be very, very simple, very basic, just a quick rundown, probably about half an hour for the demo, and no longer, simply because we're expecting to have a lot of people lining up in the queue, and we just want to, I guess, show you guys the basics, just so you can get a basic feel for the rules. Instead of going through like a full 2-hour game and you know at the cost of like 3 other groups not being able to play.
What is going here? No.
Did you break it already?
No, it's not. They haven't removed the thingy and was looking like something sticking out of his backside. It's not there. Jesus Christ, this is cool though. Have a look on that. I haven't seen the mini like that in our portfolio yet. Got the Famila. It's cool. I like that. Some of the minis you probably have seen it before. I've seen them. I know I was showing you those things. Cool. Okie dokie, some random bits I've seen here, some random bits and bobs. That you have seen it before. Yeah, that'll be all. Really like that model. Absolutely love it. Have a look on that. It's actually just few pieces because that's the sprue for it. So you have 1, 2. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 pieces, 11 pieces. And I had 12. I really love it, like it. What else we have here? That's another sprue. That's the sprue for Gnome Artificer, Dwarf Paladin, Human Cleric. And then we have here Wizard, Halfling, Druid, and then we have Elf Warrior. So each of them have its own unique bases. That's probably a surprise to you. Normally we add like a separate sprue of bases, but we decided to do that, and there's a reason behind that. Yeah, and that's the same sprue, you have seen it, but in clear plastic. This is what you're going to get it. Cool. Let's quickly go back to questions, and we're gonna be wrapping up because it's already 9 o'clock-ish. Okay, do we have any more questions?
Starcraft, do you produce everything in-house, or do you depend on certain components from other companies? Yes, we do still depend on some companies for certain components, simply because it's just not possible to have them made locally. But most of the stuff is made here in Poland.
That is correct, yes. Oh, sorry, went too far a little bit. That was the idea, Okay, here we go. Yeah, we have heavily invested in many machines now, by the way, so I think only these 6 dice will be done externally for that game. Even there was idea to make, the game requires some tokens, not much, just a few tokens. But I think at this stage we want to make them in plastic, just to make sure that we're going to be able to supply it, rather than actually make a cardboard and then hopefully pray to God that is going to happen. Yeah. I think I make something not working. Yeah, I did ruin something. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that later.
You can tell he's getting older now.
Yeah. Maybe by mistake. I don't know what happened there. What else there? Do you have any more questions here? Cool.
Will Duskhollow have any playmats? I'm not sure if we have plans for playmats for Duskhollow, but it's something we can consider.
I think it should have. I think we should have. I think we will have to speak with team on that project, but yeah, maybe not as like maybe as an optional buy or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Starcraft, how many maps will there be? So technically an unlimited amount. We're just going to be offering the terrain, and you can assemble it any way you want. Although there are still plans to offer some mats, I believe, as well, right?
That's correct, yes. So we will have mats as well for this project, like an optional buy, because we won't have it in a starter box anymore. The plan was to add in a starter box, but it became uber expensive to manufacture, and then we won't be able to charge that much, because we are not other company, so we need to make sure that our price is correct to the components. Mm-hmm. But if you don't need it really. If you want to go for the playmat, yes, you will be able. If you want to like fully feel of Starcraft, you can go for the playmat then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think so as well. Oh no, Chronicle X. I don't know if you see behind my wall, but that one is Chronicle X. And this wall is extremely important. This is the most important wall here. Oh, by the way. Oh no, I cannot show you this one yet. That one, this one I cannot show you yet.
I'll just cover it quickly.
Yeah. So, but in general, that's very important. And then that's Chronicle X. Here is as well Chronicle X. So it's in my heart. So I am forgetting about the Chronicle X. It's still in plans and it's still gonna happen. Okay, I think that's gonna be all for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for your support. And we're gonna see each other. I think we're gonna see each other. No, way too much teasing. And we see each other in a couple of weeks' time. We should have more materials to show you. Today I only had like 8 slides. which is not normal. Usually I have like 20. Okay, have a good one.